Who Killed Tecumseh Part 4. The general policy shall favor issuance of a summons instead of a warrant for the arrest of the defendant, except where there is reasonable ground to believe that unless taken into custody, the defendant will flee to avoid prosecution or will fail to respond to a summons. CRS 16-5-2072. The general policy shall favor issuance of a summons instead of a warrant for the arrest of the defendant. CRCP Rule 4A4. Notes on summonses and complaints. A summons can be issued in lieu of a warrant for many charges except for Class 1, 2, 3, and 4 felonies, Level 1, 2 drug felonies, and 24 4.13021 crimes, and in unclassified felonies punishable by a maximum penalty of more than 10 years. CRS 16.5-2061 and 16.5-206 Also, no summons can be issued if a law enforcement officer presents in writing a basis to believe that there's a significant risk of flight or that the victim or public safety may be compromised. 16.5-2061. No summons can be issued if the local DA doesn't have any developed criteria for the issuance of such a summons. CRS 16.5-206.1.5a. Also, no summons can be issued if the defendant 1. most likely won't appear. 2, has had a felony arrest in the preceding 5 years. 3, has had a deadly weapon allegation as defined in CRS 18-1903. 3E or 4, if there's an outstanding warrant already out for the defendant's arrest. CRS 16.5-2061.5. Summons, not arrest warrants, are required for all petty offenses and all unclassified offenses which are punishable by a maximum penalty of 6 months imprisonment or less, unless 1, the defendant hasn't responded to past summonses, or there's a substantial chance that the defendant won't respond to a summons, or nobody knows where the defendant is, and therefore an arrest warrant must be issued in order to subject them to the jurisdiction of the court. CRS 16.5-207. A summons must include these 6 elements. 1, be in writing. 2, state the defendant's name and address. 3, identify the nature of the offense. 4, state the date when the summons was issued and from what court. 5, signed by the judge or by the clerk of the court or by the cop themselves. 16.5-206.2e. And 6, command person to appear at a court at a certain place and time. CRCP Rule 4B2 and 16.5-206.2. Conjunctive and disjunctive. 16.5-201. Indictment's allegation form. Every indictment or accusation of the grand jury shall be deemed sufficient, technically incorrect, which states the offense in terms and language of the statute defining it, including either conjunctive or disjunctive clauses, or so plainly that the nature of the offense may be easily understood by the jury. Pleading in then provides language of the grand jury indictment. 16.5-401, statute of limitations. There's no limit for murder, kidnapping, treason, any sex offense against any child, any forgery, regardless of the penalty provided. Also, for attempt, conspiracy, or solicitation for above charges, vehicular homicide, or leaving the scene of an accident that resulted in the death of a person, 5 years or 10 years. Other felonies, you got 3 years. Misdemeanors, 18 months. Class 1 and 2 misdemeanor traffic offenses, 1 year for petty offenses, or 1 year for misdemeanors. Petty offenses, 6 months. So for other felonies, 3 years. When the application is made for arrest warrant or a summons, the court may require the applicant to provide such information as reasonably is available concerning the following: a defendant's residence. B, defendant's employment. C, defendant's family relationships. D, defendant's past history of response to legal processes. E, defendant's past criminal record. 16.5-207, Rule 4A4. If a warrant for arrest is sought prior to the filing of an information, felony complaint, or complaint, such a warrant shall issue only on affidavits sworn to or affirmed before the judge or a notary public and determined by a judge to relate facts sufficient to establish probable cause that an offense has been committed and probable cause that a particular person committed that offense. CRCP Rule 4.2. Michael Gonzalez, you've never read civil procedure laws. You need to read these civil procedure laws. He acts like only a cop or a lawyer can file charges. No, that's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. He can actually ask the DA, how come you didn't file charges? But in order to ask that question, he would need to know what the hell's going on. But he wants to stay ignorant. He's putting his head in the sand. And by staying ignorant, When it comes to situations of injustice, if the elephant is standing on the tail of a mouse, how do you think the mouse will like the neutrality of the judge? Well, I'm just gonna be non-biased. Oh, the fucking elephant's only standing on the mouse's fucking tail. You're non-biased by what? Not fucking making a judgment, not intervening, not fucking saying shit. You're on the side of the fucking elephant stepping on the tail of the fucking mouse, you piece of shit. Jesus Christ. How do you think the mouse fucking feels about your so-called neutrality? Yeah, you're so fucking moral. You're so moral. Look how non-biased bullshit. Michael Gonzalez stays ignorant because he's trying to fuck me over. He's been trying to fuck me over for the last year. There's dozens of felonies he's ignored beforehand and afterwards. Apparently, Michael Gonzalez doesn't seem to think that somebody firing guns at your head, at your house, attempted murder. He don't care. He don't think attempted murder is a crime. Or aggravated animal cruelty. If a warrant for arrest is sought prior to the filing of information, a warrant may be obtained by fax or electronic transmission. Then there's a verified affidavit statement of effects establishing probable cause. Man, look at all this. Fucking all this. I got this perfect fucking thing at the top here. Look at this perfect thing here. Got all the things. I had the orders ready. Michael Gonzalez is a fucking cheater, and he's been cheating the whole fucking time. And we're working on the appeal. So there's like 20 fucking things. He didn't even believe in a fair and even-handed trial. I turned a motion in for a fair and even-handed trial, and he had fucking complaints about it. I'm not going to take a plea bargain, you piece of shit. You're not going to fucking goddamn grind me down to get me to fuck myself over, piece of shit. That means he's just fucking over good people. That's all Michael Gonzalez does is fucks over good people. Criminal motherfuckers, he's like, you got to give me a name. For a restraining order, you got to give me a name. And if I don't know the person's name, then I guess they're fucking get away with it, huh? I guess if they can rape my kids and I don't know their name, I guess nobody's going to do shit, huh? I guess if you go around raping and murdering and stealing, you're not going to rape my family. You're not going to fucking rape my family. You guys are the opposite of me. I'm on the side of working class families. I want people to do well. I'm not on the side of criminal piles of shit that fucking drives by and does felony menacing over and over and over again. What the fuck is the matter with you piles of shit? You guys are some sick motherfuckers. You know that? So, statement of facts. It was June 1st, 2020, Delaware and Seminole Trail. It was in the evening. It was 5:21 p.m. Two local Costilla County white males, not men, bitch-ass douchebags. And why are you cussing? I may never get justice. All I did was call them a fucking douchebag, and they are fucking douchebags. One driving, the other a passenger, ran over my dog, Tecumseh. They did it deliberately in cold blood for no reason whatsoever. It was sick and evil and traumatizing and criminal, feloniously criminal. Tecumseh was a good dog. He didn't go around taking... Nick, number 2, said every time he told him to get out of the yard, he listened to him. He obeyed him. Tecumseh didn't chase every car that went by. He wasn't a dangerous dog. I kept him close to me. He was always chained up in the house or he was walking by my side. I didn't raise him to be a mean, vicious, sandlot, growling dog. So he didn't chase every single car. He didn't bark at every single thing that went by. While I got Tecumseh for protection, I was actually protective of him. I would go for walks and bike rides with Tecumseh. At nighttime, Tecumseh kept the coyotes who were screaming in the Rio Grande Gorge at bay with his strong bark. So he was keeping the predators at bay. He was actually doing the protecting and serving that Danny Sanchez and really nobody has ever done for me. Tecumseh looked over my place whenever I drove away for an hour or two to get some lumber. And when I came back, it was Tecumseh that was still there. Tecumseh was loving and playful. Anybody who knew Tecumseh loved Tecumseh. Tecumseh didn't chase anybody. He was playful. He only had people to be, that was nice to him. So his instincts did have him wander out here and there, wandered out to the side of the road because this insane truck driver, this is the Noble Havens, the friends of Noble Havens, Soto Cruz, and Danny Sanchez. The insane truck driver was driving loud, back and forth, real obnoxious. Driving back and forth down the road, was driving erratically, causing a disturbance. Was actually playing. Tecumseh thought he was just playing with them. So his instincts got him out there, but he was doing what any protective dog would have done, playful or not. The driver was acting like a criminal. Tecumseh's spidey senses was on high alert. The white male in the truck nearly stopped, and then he swerved over to the side of the dirt road in order to deliberately hit Tecumseh. After the truck had swerved over to the side of the road to deliberately murder Tecumseh, Tecumseh just sat in front of the truck, probably playfully smiling with his tail wagging happily. I want to ask the person that killed Tecumseh, was Tecumseh smiling? Did he have a big old smile on his face? After a second goes by, the criminal felon decides to go through with his wicked plans and slammed his foot on the gas pedal, gunning the truck forward, and there's a loud crack, which was Tecumseh's neck breaking. This is what Noble Havens lives for. When I told Noble Havens I was thinking about getting a cow, he said they would take the cow. Noble Havens, who are you talking about? Who's they would take the cow? They will take the cows? Do you know of criminals out here? I wish there was a cop that would stop criminals. Don't you, Noble Havens? I had hoped that it was a leg that had broke, but it wasn't his leg. Tecumseh got back up. He was running towards me. His legs weren't broken. But I didn't think he was going to die right then and there. But he was able to run 300 feet to me before he finally collapsed, and I held on to him as he passed on. The white male was looking over at me as he was driving away, so fucking happy. I guess Kim Woods and Michael Gonzalez, this is what the sick sons of bitches do. You don't want to know about this crime. It happened over 2 fucking years ago, you pieces of shit. You don't want to know about it because you're fucking biased and you're wicked and you're sick as fuck and you're on the side of criminals and you don't know right from wrong. And you're trying to fuck over my life because you're fucking friends with the guy that fucking did it. You fucking biased piece of shit. The rule of law says none of you motherfuckers can go around committing crimes. And I guarantee you, none of you guys are going to commit any more crimes. No fucking way. Noble Havens, you want to come here and kill my puppy, man? I'll arrest you. Danny Sanchez, you want to kill my puppy? Kim Woods, you want to kill my puppy? Go ahead, try it. I'll arrest you right then and there. You think I'm just going to what? Just think that you're like me, you're a nice person. No reason to go around killing people's puppies. No, that's not you. You're a sick fuck. The white male was very satisfied with his aggravated animal cruelty. He was so happy. God, he was so happy. It's what Kim Woods lives for. It's what Michael Gonzalez lives for. It's what Danny Sanchez lives for. That's why they put their head in the sand. They're ignoring this because they're biased as hell. They're criminal fucking sons of bitches and they're covering up these felon motherfuckers. I guess it was Troy Zinn. He was seeing what I was going to do. It didn't dawn on me that the wicked truck guy was trying to provoke my dog in order to murder him until it was too late. But that's who you guys are. The truck had a distinctive color, and I told Noble Havens about the color of the truck. He went out and found the guy fairly quickly. And he told me, that the guy had some bullshit excuse, and then he left. And then I was like, hey, you never told me who it was. And I called him up, who was it? And he never said. But Noble Havens, he says that I couldn't get a cow because they would steal it. He said that I didn't live on Delaware Trail. He's fucking arguing with me. As soon as he gets out there, fucking piece of shit, drives an hour right out to me. It takes you fucking an hour after my dog just got fucking murdered, you piece of shit. And then he's just being a prick to me because that's who he is, a piece of shit, criminal motherfucker. Google had it wrong, but Costilla GIS had it right. Noble Havens didn't tell me about my victim's rights. He talked to the person who did it. And I think he went to the house of Troy Zinn. He briefly mentioned to me that whoever murdered my good dog Tecumseh, it seemed to be to him that it was justified. And that was that. Well, you admitted he was in the road. He wasn't trying to attack anybody. The piece of shit was driving back and forth. He was protecting and serving. And it's weird. Why would cops be against protecting and serving? Why would they be opposed to a dog that was protecting and serving? Because they're not protecting and serving anybody. Because they don't want the dog to protect and serve. The dogs do better job protecting and serving than a cop does. So they're jealous. They're happy the dog was dead. I wonder if Kim Woods and Michael Gonzalez sings about how they murdered Tecumseh every day. They probably get together and sing with Troy Zinn and just say, "We killed John Master's dog and we committed so many felonies against him." $45,000 worth of legal fees. $45,000 worth of legal fees. You guys ain't worth it. I'm not going to raise my family around you piles of shit. This is who you pieces of shit are. Not only do you go around killing people's puppies, but you pretend that you didn't do it and that you didn't cover it up, right? They once said that everybody knows if a dog's in the road, you get to kill him with your truck. I've never read that in CRS anywhere. It's not common folk wisdom. It's fucking bullshit. Somebody murdered somebody else's dog and then they come up with that fucking bullshit and then people just shrug their shoulders at it. Tecumseh didn't pose any threat or danger to anybody at all, unless the person was posing a danger to them. Noble Havens picked the side of the felon, and so did Soto Cruz and Danny Sanchez. I called Noble Havens later on, asked if it was Troy Zinn. I said, all right, I'll just spit out a name, and then you say yes or no. Troy Zinn. And then Noble Havens hangs up the phone. So, still today, I don't know for sure who murdered my dog. Some fucking fat, ugly, fucking white supremacist male. Some fat, ugly, fucking white male douchebag piece of shit who loves murdering people's puppies and gets the protection of Danny Sanchez, the sheriff, and Soto Cruz and Noble Havens. They protect criminals. They don't protect victims. They didn't read me my victims' rights. At no point in time did they read my victims' rights. As well as others, and for over 2 years and 4 months now, mum's the word. Danny Sanchez goes to bed. He don't have a conscience. He's okay with protecting felons who murdered my puppy. He'll let me go to jail for 3 fucking years. He'll fine me $100,000, and he won't say who the fuck killed my puppy. He's okay with all of it, because he's a piece of shit. At no point in time did Danny Sanchez or Soto Cruz or Noble Havens' consciences guide them towards telling me the truth. I remember I promised somebody that I was going to give them that address once I moved to my new place. And once I moved to the new place, I did it immediately because I said I was going to. If I'm a police officer and there's crimes that's happening all over the place, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. Danny Sanchez is okay with all the crimes and all the murders. He's okay with all of it. I wanted good government, good laws, and good cops. Danny Sanchez didn't give a fuck about any of it. I'm Danny Sanchez. I just laugh and giggle, and I'm such a good guy. I'm so good and chummy. Bullshit. You're a puppy-killing fucking protector is what you are. You protected the person that killed my fucking puppy because you're a piece of shit. You don't know right from wrong. You don't know the laws. And you're not a good Democrat. You're against the working class families. You're against peace. You're against love and decency. You're against justice and truth. And you know what? You pieces of shit have been fucking with me since I've been born. Whereas all it seemed to get the cops to respond to Kelly Canty's complaint was to hear him out. Kelly Canty just called 911. And then I had 4 or 5 fucking guns on me. I called 911. I typed. I took pictures. I reached out to people. I talked to that person, this person. I kept going up in the hierarchy. My many efforts at getting the police, some police protection in Costilla County were in vain. I called one cop. I drove 45 minutes to San Luis to talk to the clerk, Shelley Quintana. She passed a written statement of facts to Judge Kim Wood, and Kim Wood didn't give a shit. Shelley Quintana didn't give a shit. Soto Cruz didn't give a shit. Shelley Quintana suggested giving it to another police officer. Maybe they would agree with it. But Soto Cruz was going to rubber stamp the other cop's fucking decision. They all do the same shit. He didn't want to use his own independent thought and intelligence. He's a lazy pile of shit. He don't want to fucking go do any work. He's a lazy pile of shit. I filed some paperwork with the DA. It was Robert Willard at the time. I emailed and talked to the DA investigator in late 2020. Major difference between the murder of Tecumseh and me firing some warning shots is that nobody nor anybody's beloved pets got injured or murdered. No bloodshed. There was no bloodshed. Me firing a couple warning shots, no blood, no death, no horror. But Kim Wood and Michael Gonzalez and Troy Zinn are the opposite of me. And like I said, I think Troy Zinn is my main suspect. And if Troy Zinn, if you didn't kill Tecumseh, then I will have to apologize because I thought you was the main suspect. But the other suspects, Jacqueline Mitchell's 20-year-old son, Phil Greeny, Troy Zinn, Kevin Zinn, Hiram Richardson, Robert Pickerel, Robert Roman, James A. Bax, Eunice Bowman, Samuel Lee Jepson, Cynthia Rose Lee, Kenny Capon, Kevin Bertini, Turtle, some guy with the nickname of Turtle, Vince Edwards, Jeremy Costley, Bruce Doucette, Chloe Everhart, Roger Marsh, Jessica Costley, Zanis, or Samantha McDonald. The right-wing movement is out there, so anybody that's associated with those names, that's from the article, and then those other names are locals that live out there by the Lobato Bridge. Not only they know of a lot of crimes that's happening. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. So Noble Havens went out there, talked to me, talked to the other guy. Noble Havens saw that the tire tracks had swerved in the dirt road. So he noticed that they had swerved, which means that the truck driver intentionally ran over the dog, intentionally swerved, intentionally murdered the dog. Not only did they drive a half a mile away and then come back, even at that moment it could have been easily prevented. It was deliberate. They had planned on it. They deliberated it. It's, first degree murder is deliberation. It was first degree murder of Tecumseh. The truck driver planned on running over my dog before he even left his house. Tecumseh wasn't chasing them. He never chased anybody. They were acting a fool. His instincts led him towards them. But for every car that went by, Tecumseh just let them drive by. He wasn't the predator the white males were. Tecumseh did nothing wrong. Tecumseh was just being a protective dog. Protecting and serving, unlike what Danny Sanchez did. There's no debate that my dog was murdered. There was no debate. So, does that establish probable cause? All Kelly Canty had to do was just say, hey, he fired warning shots at me. I got arrested. So, that establishes probable cause, but me reporting it, me taking pictures, me writing the complaint up, me passing here, passing there, none of that is probable cause, huh? I think you're a bunch of piles of shit. There's plenty of probable cause, I got a dead fucking dog, motherfucker. There's blood all over the place, motherfucker. No probable cause. Wow. So I got this Westward article. I'll read the Westward article in a second. And then I got this, here's what I said, to Robert Willett. So I'll go ahead and read this complaint. June 1st, 2020. Let's see, this is my eyewitness testimony. Dear Mr. Willett, this is my eyewitness testimony. June 1st, 2020, 5:21 p.m., Rio Grande Ranchos, Delaware Trail, southwest Costilla County. On June 1st, 2020, at 5:21 p.m., two white males intentionally and maliciously murdered my dog with a truck, an ordinary red pickup truck with a conspicuous green fender. A conspicuous green fender on the front passenger side. One was driving, the other was riding along in what looked to be a father-son duo. It was nearly dusk. It had just started to lightly rain. Out of nowhere, these fools were driving real fast, quickly up and around the remote intersection of Seminole and Delaware Trail, revving their engine, almost as if they were trying to provoke the primordial instincts of my dogs. They weren't trying. That's exactly what they were doing, which they did. My two otherwise gentle dogs noticed danger, because danger was afoot. The only things my least trained from birth dogs ever barked at were coyotes and criminal bandits. That's all they barked at, that arsonist, and they barked at coyotes. They didn't chase the vehicles, they didn't chase the cars, they were good dogs. After jettisoning onto Delaware from Seminole, the white male behind the wheel all of a sudden slows his vehicle down to a very slow. This is felony menacing. This piece of shit is felony menacing. I'm not going to raise my family and have my kids playing in the front yard while this piece of shit is doing all this. Fuck you bastards. It's sick that you motherfuckers, no wonder them kids got raped for 4 or 5 years out there. No wonder that serial killer killed 5 people before you ever even arrested him. You allow these criminals to get away with a shit ton of fucking things. Maybe because you all have criminal mentalities. So after they're driving like fucking assholes, they drive up and then they drive from 5 miles per hour down. They're driving a very slow speed. They drive real fast up and around the curve and then they slow down. Like, haha, I'm here to fuck with you, motherfucker. I'm here to scare you with a vehicle with as a deadly weapon. First, real fast and loud, and then real slow and quiet. Of course, Tim and Tecumseh, my two dogs, who are both were less than 1 year of age, ran towards the truck. And I shouted to get back here to my dogs, but when I shouted get back here to my dogs, the white male thinks I'm yelling at him. No, you piece of shit. You're trying to murder my dogs, and I'm trying to save my dogs. But the white male's trying to fucking fuck with me. So he stops his truck, and he shifts his truck into reverse, and he's like, what's up, motherfucker? You talking shit about me? Nah, you're trying to kill my dog, and I tried to get my dogs to come back, but I clearly know you own some bullshit right now. What are you doing rolling back towards my driveway on Delaware Trail, huh? If this piece of shit wanted to fight me fairly, I would be okay with a fair fight. But this is just sick. This is just wicked. I don't even know who this guy is or what the fuck he's doing. But he backed up as if I had threatened him. The white male backs past my driveway, and then the white male pulls into my driveway. He's fucking with me. And he's trying to get my dogs fucking killed. And he did it. And he did it. Soto Cruz, you did it, man. Danny Sanchez, you did it, man. You drove back, and you drove forward, and you drove here, and you drove there. You drove down the road.